Hello, Monetization Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Monetization Nation with Michelle Dale. This is episode 2 of 2. Previously, we discussed how Michelle began an online business while working from home, traveling abroad, meeting her husband, and becoming a mother. We also discussed her business model with the different services she provides, tips on how to build connections, and suggestions for those starting YouTube videos. Today we'll be focusing on the way that Michelle's digital business has evolved since COVID and the 12 strategies that helped her business to grow from zero in revenue to $20,000 in one day. So for those wanting to start an online business with the freedom to live anywhere you want, this episode's for you. Tectonic shifts are constantly transforming the earth and business, causing destruction and huge growth opportunities. I'm Nathan William, the host of Monetization Nation, where we learn how to leverage business tectonic shifts to transform monetization. How has COVID affected the virtual assistant world? Has it increased because more people are going digital, or more people kind of needing to cut back?
It's really interesting. So a lot of the people that I coach now and I work with one-on-one have experienced different things. And it's really interesting because the different people that have experienced different things is very much to do with their mindset. I've had virtual assistants who saw this as an opportunity and they've grown their businesses since COVID. I've had other virtual assistants I work with who saw this as the end of days, and their businesses literally had to shut down, which tells me a lot about how attitude actually does shape your business. In terms of me, I specifically had a vision for growing the consulting side of my business and growing the program side of my business, and COVID has actually allowed me to do that. And I've stepped things up there, and that's going really well. A lot of people wanting to learn how to work remotely. So I'm focusing more on the marketing of my digital products right now, which is going well. But it means I've had to take a step back from servicing clients, which is something I wanted to do anyway. So I've been able to also help other VAs by passing over a few of my clients to them. So for me, it's not so much like how COVID has affected my business. It's more about how COVID has allowed me to put changes in place, which I wanted to do anyway, but it's kind of forced it.
Right. Because you focused on monetization and making money early on in your career, and because you focused on these recurring revenue streams that provide revenue, whether you're working an hour or not, it's now given you the ability to switch your focus, to focus on the things that really matter. You laid the foundation, and now you can focus on things that have more meaning in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And also that's also run through the business as well, because a lot of my time, even when I first started thinking about making a program or going into training, it was because so many people were asking me questions about, how I didn't realize you were traveling. How can you do this from abroad? And how is that working with the kids? And how are you able to move to, and it was just so many questions I was getting. And, I started off answering all these people individually, and I realized this was taking too much of my time, and I've still got to run my business, and I've still got my clients and my team. So that's when I thought to myself, well, I'll create a digital program. I'll create a product that kind of hits all these notes in one, and I don't have to answer everyone individually. And that's when I created my first program. And from then I just completely got a fever, because at that time when I created my very first program, I was earning probably about $20,000 a month in the business, just from the service side of things and what I was doing there. And then I launched this first program, and the first launch I did, it made $20,000. So I was like, that's really strange that I'm spending the whole month with my team working completely, servicing clients to make $20,000. And suddenly I do this one product launch and I make $20,000 in one day. And for me, I was like, do the math, Michelle, you've got to evolve from here. So that really got me into thinking about how can I monetize? How can I take what I know and, you know, not spend 4 or 5 hours helping 4 or 5 people, but how can I spend 4 or 5 hours helping 45 people, you know? And that was kind of the moment where I thought to myself, you know, probably an entrepreneurial moment is like, I've got to go more in that direction. And how can I do that?
A pivot, great
Yeah.
pivot. So in the book, we talked about 8 tectonic shifts or 8 major transformations that are happening in the business world today. And one of those is information products. And we've talked a lot about that and how you're doing that. Another tectonic shift is recurring revenue. And we've talked about that, how you've built this business around recurring revenue. Now you have recurring revenue in the services. Do your courses provide recurring revenue for you, or are those one-time sales?
No, a lot of them provide recurring revenue. So I have my model, or I wanted to do complete range of courses. A lot of them have payment plans, because to me, recurring income is the goal. It's not the big wins. For me, it's more important that I have someone sign up for £200 a month recurring for 2 years, than just to give me one lump sum and then call it good.
Right.
Because for 2 reasons, really. For me, I like the stability of knowing how much money is coming in every month. And also it's nice for the person buying from me to know that they can spread it out. And I also think it helps build trust in a way, because I know at any time that if they're not feeling like they're getting a good investment into my business, that they could just cancel their payments anytime and drop off. But many go through and complete the full year payments or 2-year payments because they are getting the value and they are seeing the worth in it. So for me, recurring is better.
Yeah, I love that concept about, and that's a concept we're talking about in the book, about not locking people into long-term contracts and having these monthly contracts that people can get out of at any time. And the beauty of that is it forces us to keep them happy every month. It forces us to elevate our service and not rely upon them staying with us because they have to stay with us. They're wanting to stay with us because they choose to stay with us.
Absolutely.
Want to talk a little bit about how you do that and why you do it that way?
For me, it's how you do it. It's just really so simple. It's just all about value. If people feel that they're getting the value out of what they're investing in, they absolutely will stay if they can, if it's possible for them. You know, and for me, I've always been the same. I've always been, and I think this is one thing you can have in business that's so important, is impartiality. I'm very impartial in terms of people who come to me. If you come to me and you like me and you want to work with me and you feel happy with me, then that's great. I want you to work with me. I want you to do that. But if you don't feel happy, I don't want you around me. So I would rather you go, I would rather you invest somewhere else. And I think a lot of people are so afraid of losing clients and so afraid of the competition, and so like they're building their businesses around a lot of fear. And I think you have to let go of that and just think to yourself, okay, well, if I believe in what I'm doing, if I know it gets results for other people, I don't want to be clinging on to the people who don't feel that they're getting the results and don't feel that they're getting the good investment from me. And because I know that out of every one that isn't happy, there's going to be 10 that are. So I'm just focused on those 10 people and giving them the best I can, making sure I come up with the best things. And it's also making sure that you're coaching and you're training, you're teaching the right kind of people for you. Like, for example, I was on a conference call the other day where I was a panelist, and they were asking all these different people in similar fields of work to me, like a lot of virtual assistants, about questions about how to become a virtual assistant. And one of them said to me, it's really, really important that you understand that if anyone comes to me, when she was talking about herself, and they want to run a business from an RV while they're driving around America, she's like, I can't help them. And this is like, a VA who's running a really successful business, but she's like, I can't help them do that. I send them to you. And I think it's really important to know and to understand that you can't please everybody. You're never going to catch everybody, and you don't want to do that. You want to really provide a lot of value for the people who are going to derive the most value from it. So the way I see it is I just do the best I can every day. I show up and I give away my best stuff. And I make sure that I'm there for people as well. There's nothing worse than having a digital product or a digital course or some kind of digital mentorship or training where you can't access that person. So I make sure that I'm really present and very available, and there's good support. And if anybody needs anything, they can always ask, and they never felt like, or I never make them feel like it's too much, or they shouldn't be asking that, that's not in the price, or, it's like, be open your heart to people. And then they will trust you and they will buy more from you. And I have a lot of repeat customers. Whenever I launch anything new or do I do sometimes like one-off workshops or, one-off coaching sessions or group coaching mentorship or anything like that. Anytime I announce anything like that, I have a lot of faithful people and a lot of faithful customers who will just jump on and join and buy whatever I'm offering at that time, because they feel like I care about them, because it's true, I do. And I think a lot of that is missing from the digital world these days.
If you enjoyed this interview and want to learn more about Michelle and her services, you can learn more at virtualmissfriday.com. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing your stories and knowledge. Here are some of my key takeaways from this episode. Number 1, attitude can shape a business. Number 2, COVID can allow for more opportunities that were not possible before. Evolving and innovation are okay. Number 3, recurring revenue is beneficial for 2 reasons. First, there is stability in knowing how much money comes in every month. Second, it's convenient for students taking the courses because they can spread their payments out. They can also cancel anytime so they don't feel locked in. Number 4, there are many different types of recurring revenue. Which ones will best work for your business and niche? Number 5, have a certain number of individuals test your course. This will help you make adjustments where needed and receive feedback and testimonials. Number 6, be impartial. If you can't best help your clients, don't cling for them to stay. But if you can, do everything to go the extra mile for them, such as providing them with unexpected things. Number 7, don't build a business around the fear of losing clients or the competition. If we believe in what we're doing and know it will provide a good investment for our clients, don't fear. Did you like today's episode? Then please follow these channels to receive more free digital monetization content. Number 1, get a free monetization assessment of your business, subscribe to the free Monetization e-magazine, or follow the Monetization blog at monetizationnation.com. Number 2, please subscribe to the Monetization Nation YouTube channel or podcast. And number 3, please follow Monetization Nation on Instagram and Twitter. What stories can you share of businesses that survived and thrived during COVID? Please join our private Monetization Nation Facebook group and share your insights with other digital monetizers. Thanks for joining us for this episode. I hope you have a fabulous day. Do you want to become a better digital monetizer? To receive great monetization stories and secrets, please go to monetizationnation.com and join free. And if you liked today's episode, please subscribe to the show and share it.